Welcome ladies and gentlemen, this is HolyLord, and today in this video we're gonna discuss the two actual builds that the Barbarian can use in Inferno that can clear you the whole Inferno. Okay, the first build, I don't have names for it, is the one I'm using. So, as you can see, these are the skills. Let's begin with the primary attack. It's Frenzy, as in all builds, paired up with the Maniac rune, which gives you an increased damage to 20% when you fully stack it. It helps a lot. I mean, even if you use other skills, the 12% damage, the 20, sorry, counts as a damage increase not only for this spell, but for all of spells and damages and whatever you do. Leap, a very helpful ability. I mean, you can jump out or in on an elite pack or a bunch of mobs. Plus, it's paired with the Iron Impact rune, which gives you 300 additional armor. Basically, after a leap, as you can see, I have 8,400 armor buffed. After leap, I have 27,000, which is 90% damage reduced. It's basically godlike for the 4 seconds that its duration lasts. You're godlike. So basically, if you're going low on health, you're being chased, shot at, and whatever, you just jump out and run around a little bit, try to find like a healing glow or wait for your healing potion cooldown. It's a very helpful ability. Plus, it helps you. It doesn't require a fury. It has a low cooldown, so you can just jump around the map to like move faster than running. The main ability of this build is called Revenge. It's paired up with a Provocation rune, which increases the chance to proc of this spell to 30%, or in other words, twice as much. This ability is not only your main damage ability, because it's AoE. As you can see, it's 220% weapon damage in an AoE arc. It also heals you for 5% of your maximum life, which is very helpful because it doesn't matter how much survivability you have as a Barbarian, you're still gonna lose health, and this ability is gonna be your main healing ability. Next thing, Wrath of the Berserker. This is the elite killer in Act 3 and above. As you can see, it's paired up with the Insanity rune, which increases your damage by 100%. You deal twice as much damage. That's very awesome. Plus the stats increase on attack speed, critical hit chance, increases your DPS furthermore, and then the 100% applies. This thing has a big cooldown, as you can see, 2 minutes. It's pretty hard to time it with elite packs, because in some maps or regions, elites are next to each other, and most of the times you're gonna need this to kill the pack successfully, or without it maybe die once or 2 times. They're still killable. I'm not saying that this is the only way to kill them. I mean, this is the only way to kill them efficiently. Like, you pop it up, leap inside, and just massacre them, because this gives you like a lot of damage. Next thing you're gonna need for this build is the Ignore Pain, which reduces all damage taken by 65%. Plus, when paired up with the Ignorance is Bliss rune, you get 20% lifesteal, which is very helpful. I mean, if you jump in a pack, a big pack, even if it has elites, and they start pounding on you, you pop this. You're, let's say, on low health. You're like on 5,000 health, and you're gonna die in the next hit. You pop this, and you hope that your Revenge is gonna proc, and if it does, it won't only heal you with Revenge, it's gonna heal for the 20% of the damage Revenge does. And believe me, Revenge with a lot of mobs does a lot of damage, which you're gonna get fully healed by just popping these 2 abilities. And Ignore Pain doesn't have such a high cooldown, it's 30 seconds. You can even use it twice or 3 times in an elite fight, depending on the elites. So it's one of the best abilities the Barbarian has overall. And of course, the War Cry. This is your passive kind of defensive ability. I'm pairing it with the Impunity rune, it gives you 50% more resistance. Basically, if you see, I have like passively 430 resist. If I shout with this, with the rune, 640 all resists. This is very helpful if you are not like high-end geared and you have like 1000 resists. Plus, it increases your armor by 20%, which is also very helpful. I mean, it gives him 1000 bonus armor. And plus it generates a lot of fury, as you can see, 30 fury. Which is very good if you engage an elite pack. Just Warcry before engaging, you're gonna have a little bit of fury, leap inside, and so on and so on. Also, if you have a lot of armor, if you're high-end gear, this build with the passives, instead of nerfs of steel, as you can see, it gives your armor is increased by 100% of your vitality. So I have like let's call it 1.6k vitality. That gives me 1.6k armor as a bonus. But if you're like a high-end barbarian, or have a very good gear, or you can buy it off the auction house, change this passive, Nerfs of Steel, to the Berserker Rage. This passive, as you can see, gives you 25% more damage when you're at maximum fury. With this build, you don't have a spell that wastes fury. Well, maybe popping out Berserker, but that doesn't count because you can make up for it pretty fast. It will give you a 25% damage increase constantly when you're fighting stuffs. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. But it requires a lot of gear to sustain it, because the armor, you need it more if you can survive. The other passives are Ruthless. That's self-explanatory. It gives you a critical hit chance and damage. Passively, it doesn't matter what you wear, what gear or whatever. Get this ability if you're a barbarian. The third passive I use is the Weapons Master. It gives you a bonus depending on what weapon you're wearing in your main hand. Always aim to have a mace or an axe in your main hand. Because, I mean, 15% increased damage for sword and daggers. Okay, it's not that much. Come on. 15% on like 30k damage. It's not that much. As for 10% critical hit, it's always a lot. Attack speed, I think it's the most worthless thing. I mean, maybe the mighty weapons fury per hit is more worthless, because I mean, with this build you're not using fury as I stated earlier on. So just aim to get maces and axes. Also, another thing, as a follower, use the Enchantress. That's because, first of all, this helps sometimes, because charm can, as it says, charms an enemy to fight for you. Basically, it can even work on elite mobs. So if you like charge 3 elite packs, I mean 3 mobs in a pack, the Enchantress can charm 1, and that one can like act, I don't know, as a meat shield for it doesn't stay 4 seconds, I think, for elites, but stay 1 or 2 seconds, or hit the other elite, because it's pretty helpful. That's a little bit of damage increase. The most awesome ability of the Enchantress is this, Powered Armor. It increases your armor by 15%, even if the Enchantress is dead. It still applies. And attackers are slowed, which is also good. I'm using this ability, Erosion, because, you know, for the 3 seconds you get 15% increased damage when you're standing in that. I mean, not you exactly, but you deal 15% more to the mobs, which is also very helpful, because you're trying to kill the elites as fast as possible. That's your aim as a barbarian. Maybe this is a good ability, but it depends on like taste. And the last one is a little bit of a DPS increase, Focus Mine. It gives you 3% attack speed, always again. Or you can go with Mass Control, which turns enemies into chickens, which is a little bit more defensive like, because chickens won't kill you. Maybe, I don't know. But seriously, it helps. Though this ability was bugged before, I think it's fixed now. I mean, before you could be turned into a chicken instead of the mobs, which is a pretty gruesome death. Imagine all of them monsters killing a poor defenseless chicken. But that's about it, guys. If you have any questions regarding this build, post it in comments or private message me. I'm gonna answer all of your questions.